futuristico.
Ok, rap futuristico. Rap futuristico.
Well, it's pretty difficult to be positive when assessing Italy's chances, unfortunately, particularly in light of the 3-0 friendly defeat to Russia. I mean, to say that the preparation for the tournament has not been ideal would be a bit of a massive understatement. And, that culminated in Cesare Prandelli's comments that he wouldn't object if it was decided that Italy should withdraw from the tournament, which, is quite staggering thing to say, really. But I'm going to do my best to try and put something of a positive spin on things if I can. I think there's something that might ultimately work in Italy's favour is that there just appears to be zero expectation that they might actually threaten to win this tournament. The disaster that was the 2010 World Cup campaign in South Africa, that's still quite fresh in the memory. And of course, the squad appear to be in a state of turmoil at the minute with the ongoing Scomasopoli investigation. And you've even got Azzurri legends like Gianluigi Buffon being mentioned as potentially under investigation, which, is far from ideal. But you've only got to look at how the national squad responded in light of the Calciopoli scandal in 2006 when they actually went on to lift the World Cup. And a few members of that squad, they later said that the scandal actually helped them to close ranks and to build an almost us against everyone else mentality. Whether that's going to happen this time, I can't see it at the minute, but it's possible. As far as the squad that Prandelli has selected goes, from a defensive point of view, the side, they had a decent record in qualifying. They conceded just twice. And the likes of Giorgio Chiellini and Andrea Barzagli, they've had an impressive season for Juventus. In midfield, you've got Andrea Pirlo, who's been excellent for Juve this season. Antonio Nocerino performed really well during his first season at Milan. And I think, if you look at a player like Riccardo Montolivo, he's going to be keen to show that his relatively poor season at Fiorentina was just a blip. And, further up front, you've got Antonio Di Natale, who's been one of the best strikers in Europe for the last 3 seasons, despite his age. Sebastian Giovinco was a revelation at Parma this season, particularly towards the end of the campaign. And depending on which Mario Balotelli turns up, Italy could really have one of the most potent strike forces in the competition. All things considered, Italy almost certainly aren't going to win this tournament, but, there's the potential there for it to not be as embarrassing as some are predicting. And if they can somehow navigate their way through the group stage, then, anything's possible at a tournament like the Euros. Well, again, that's quite difficult to say. I can't really see a situation this time where, somebody completely unexpected is going to win the tournament, like Denmark in '92 or Greece in 2004. But I think if you look at someone like France, who, they had arguably an even worse 2010 World Cup campaign than Italy did. And, they're not being tipped by many as, to lift the trophy this summer. But I think they could really surprise a few people. I mean, the squad seems to be a little more harmonious under Laurent Blanc than it was under Raymond Domenech. And, as well as a good crop of youngsters, they've got proven match winners in the likes of Franck Ribéry and Karim Benzema. And, if they're all on form and they're performing well, then you never know with a team like France. I think there could be a few, you've got a few big-name players who'll be coming into this tournament feeling like they've got quite a lot to prove. I mean, if you look at a team like the Netherlands, who many are tipping as potential winners, you have some huge names like Wesley Sneijder and Arjen Robben who've had seasons that they'd probably prefer to forget or would like to top off, with a bit of glory by winning the Euros. And then you've got someone like Cristiano Ronaldo. He's often been accused of failing to replicate his club form for the Portuguese national team. I think as far as youngsters go, someone like Germany's Mario Götze has been excellent for Borussia Dortmund during the last 2 seasons, and I'd fully expect him to carry on that form into the Euros. While Croatia's Nikica Jelavic, he's been absolutely brilliant this season for both Rangers and Everton. And, he could pose a few problems for Italy during the group stage if he continues his form into the tournament. Well, I think Spain have to be considered as amongst the favourites, and that's despite missing a few key players like Carlos Puyol and David Villa. But personally, I'm tempted to have a bet on Germany. I mean, they had a perfect record in qualifying for the tournament. And, their squad, it's a mixture of youth and experience that have steadily improved in recent tournaments. If you ignore the recent friendly defeat to Switzerland, where they were beat 5-2, they have one of the best young keepers in the world in Manuel Neuer, and they've got a solid defence who, on the day, are very difficult to beat. I don't think they conceded too many during the qualifying round. They've got the likes of Sami Khedira and Mesut Ozil, Bastian Schweinsteiger in midfield. And up front, they've got proven goal scorers in the likes of Mario Gomez, Miroslav Klose, who had a decent season in Serie A, and Lucas Podolski, who's got a great scoring record at international level. And for a nation that have been so used to winning international tournaments in the past, I think they're well overdue, having not won one since Euro 96. And they might also have that added element of hunger that it could just give them that edge going into the tournament.